Hello. Nice to see you open your eyes. Yo, where my vape went, I swear to God. That thing, I just lose everything, don't I? Oh, it's charging. Jesus Christ. God, I'm losing my mind. Y'all see the water? It's so pretty, ain't it? So pretty. So pretty. Oh. The sun. I feel like a vampire. It's too early. Where is my eyebrow gel? I don't even want to put foundation on because I want the sun to tan my face. What in the ever-loving... Lord have mercy. Can't see. I can't see nothing on the phone. YouTube, I need you to fix your app. This is unbelievable. Where is it at? There it is. All that for that. Good morning, y'all. Canada is fucked. Fucked. Majorly fucked. It's gonna be a thrill to watch because it's like, oh God, that could have been us. It almost was. Imagine if Kamala Harris was in the White House right now, what life would be like. Let's just take a minute to think about that. How we would be so burdened by what's being. You know what I mean? We'd be so burdened right now with her in the White House. We dodged a fucking bullet. She's a Marxist. Was raised by him, allegedly. If you do your research, you can find that trail, though. So anyways, McCartney. Oh my God, why do I keep calling him that? You see how I just make up names for people? McCartney. Carney. Mark Carney. Brooke. Mark Carney. He won the election, y'all. He did. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I just feel so bad for Canada because things are going to get 10 times worse than what they were, you know? And that's without a doubt. So, I wonder how much he won by. I mean, it was kind of the inevitable. If things are, you know, they got a swamp too, you know what I mean? And if the swamp had already decided that he was going to win, well, that's why he won. I don't even know if I believe that elections are real anymore. After everything we've been through. I mean, it's definitely a lot of room for mistakes. A ton of room for mistakes when it comes to the polls. So, it's crazy. It's just crazy to think that we're supposed to vote. And then one side can decide what happens in an election, even though everybody voted. I never believed back in 2020 when Trump was claiming that the election was stolen. I didn't like Trump. I hated him. So I didn't believe a word he said. I thought he was lying through his freaking teeth, you know? I thought he was mad and butthurt that he didn't win. And now 5 years have passed by, and so much evidence has bubbled to the surface to support that an election could be stolen. And it really makes you wonder if they're fair and who's pulling the strings. There's no doubt that there's been election fraud in this country going on for decades. We have video evidence of it. Democratic councilmen stuffing ballot boxes during the 2020 election. Sure did. Thousands of votes for Biden. So I understand now how it could be done. And that it's potential and probable and a possibility, you know. I don't know. It's super weird that Mark Carney was under Trudeau for so long. As I said, all he was doing was training him for the next damn 7 years of bullshit. He's a banker. And he ain't just no regular banker. He's one of the most, like, crooked bankers. Like, he doesn't have a good track record. And he's going to run Canada even farther into the ground. We'll be sitting here 5 years from now when I finally have an editor. And I'll be like, remember when I said this? I just feel so bad for Canada because things are about to get 1,000 times worse for them. And they already had it much worse than the States. I mean, when it comes to the UK and Canada and America, it's all messed up just like America. They're having immigration problems. They're having people getting murdered because of illegal immigrants. They're having financial issues. The same problems that we're having in the West, they're having in the UK and Canada. But now that they got this loser in office, things are going to get much, much worse. And I feel horrible for all of the normal people who voted for Polvier, because he was absolutely the best pick. For the country. These things are probably pre-planned, you guys. I don't know. I mean, if they have babies and raise them in essentially cults and, you know, all kinds of crazy borderline terroristic groups, who's to say that they don't set this shit up? You know? Where is... Oh, I don't have any more. Great. Where's my phone? I don't own a phone. I used to have a phone, but I don't own one now. Hello, good morning. I can't see. And I got mascara on too. Fuck, man. It literally hurts my eyes so bad. Mark Carney, the 24th Prime Minister of Canada, has a net worth of $7 million. And that's through his global finance career. Let's see what it is this time next year. Oh no, they're just getting better at hiding it when they start stealing it. And they're doing these shady business deals on the side, you know. They're just getting better at hiding it. I wonder what happened last night. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney vows to never let the U.S. Trump break us after liberals win election. Well, let me tell you something. Y'all gonna be Y'all, he's going to play a game with y'all, trying to make an example out of Trump, and y'all are going to lose sorely. Y'all are going to lose sorely. Who do you think will win in a political fight? Trump or this loser, Mark? I already know. He ain't got a shot in hell against Trump. So all he's doing is digging Canada's financial problems deeper, trying to be a bitch against Trump. You know what I mean? And what he's really doing with his $7 million net worth, what he's really doing is making the poor and killing the middle class. He doesn't care about those people. They don't. Nobody does. The own government in the West don't. Who are you kidding? If you are poor or middle class and you think somebody gives a fuck, you got a lot of growing up to do. You got a lot of growing up to do. Nobody gives a fuck. If you are poor, if you are middle class, they want you to fucking suffer. And Mark is going to make Canada's life absolute torture. Absolute. Look at what Trudeau did. He destroyed that country in less than 7 years. And now you have his predecessor. Now you got somebody that was trained by the demon to come in and act like a demon again. And now, he wasn't even in office when he started firing off shots at Trump yesterday. You wasn't even in office. You've been out here firing off shots at a man that's trying to help you help your country. But your ego and your pride is so big that you're willing to harm the citizens of Canada rather than be a big man that knows so much about business and come up with an arrangement for these tariffs. You would rather stand on ground that is going to harm the citizens than do your job as a businessman. He's already showing you his character. His ego and his pride is more important than the citizens of Canada. These fools show you who they are. Start listening. Open up your eyes. This is evil walking among us, stealing from the poor to make themselves richer. He's playing a fucking game and he's going to lose. And I feel bad for Canadians because y'all are the ones that are going to suffer. Y'all are the ones that are going to financially suffer. And y'all's problems are worse than America's. I don't know who's worse off, the UK or you. It's concerning. Let's see what the polls were. Let's see how close the race was. First of all, look at this beautiful picture I took. Oh, you can't even see it. I'm mad. Beautiful picture I took the other day. It's crazy. So Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney declared victory in the country's pivotal federal election Tuesday and vowed never to let the U.S. break us in a blistering warning to President Trump. Sir, you are playing a chess game that you cannot win, and all you're going to do is harm the citizens of Canada. Quote, he goes on to say, as I've been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. No, America wants to help your dumb ass. You, sir, are an idiot. I hate this man. I hate him. I'm repulsed. I could throw up right now if I had something on my stomach. I'm so repulsed at how horrible of a human being this person is and how stupid you would have to be to vote for an idiot like this. It's literally writing on the wall. How are they not intuitive enough to read into someone's soul and see their actions show you who they are characteristically inside? Their actions show you who they are on the inside. He says, these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so America can own us. That will never happen. But we must recognize the reality that our world has fundamentally been changed. He's also a climate activist. The system of open global trade, anchored by the United States, a system that Canada has relied on Hold on. That don't say America relies on Canada. That says a system that Canada has relied on since the Second World War. Like I said, this is going to affect Canadians. And he is playing a game with Canadians, their future. Like, you know, he's got $7 million. He don't care if y'all starve. He's got money to eat. So anyways, I'm trying to see. After the polls closed, the Liberals were projected to win more of Parliament's 343 seats than the Conservatives. However, while Carney retained power in the election, his Liberal Party fell short of the majority government he had wanted to help him negotiate tariffs with Trump amid the escalating trade war. Carney's Liberal Party had initially looked like it was heading for a crushing defeat after former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau abruptly resigned in January, and his popularity plummeted toward the end of his decade in power. The result capped a notable comeback for the Liberals, who had been 20 percentage points behind in the polls before Trudeau's resignation. Trump started hurling threats. Are you for real right now? I'm so fucking sick of the way they write shit. It's not a threat, it's a promise. Huge difference. Huge difference. He says it and he means it. And thank God for that, because nobody else stands on ground anymore. Only Trump. That's literally, like, only Trump, me, a few other people. Like, seriously. People don't stand on ground. They say shit and then they don't do shit. The reason we wanted him in office was because we knew he would do shit. He says it, he does it. Imagine the world if all politicians did that. Imagine the world if all politicians said something and then did something. We wouldn't even be having these conversations this morning. They're all liars. They're all right and left. Right and left. If you'll protect a sex trafficker, that makes you evil. So Canada's cooked. Fuck. I wonder what... Polvier, meanwhile, tapped into concerns about the cost of living, crime, and a housing crisis. So Polvier was the Republican nominee in Canada, and I can't say his name. I think it's like Polvier, and then it was Mark Carney. Mark Carney has a long history of working for people like BlackRock, or it's Blackstone, one of them financial companies. Who cares? An evil company. He was a financial banker for these evil companies long before he was in politics. He was a financial banker. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? So Justin Trudeau actually is the one that's been training Mark Carney for years. So all you got was another Trudeau, which I'm sure half of them freaks in Canada wanted. Clearly. But when it comes to things that actually matter, food, housing, inflation, cost of living, and crime, Polvier ran on those issues. He wanted to help Canada. During the campaign, Carney had promised an approach with Washington over its import tariffs and said Canada would need to spend billions to reduce its reliance on the U.S. Oh, Carney is also a climate activist. Full leftist propaganda. So Trudeau, leftist, ruins the country of Canada in less than 7 years, trains this guy to do the same thing, teaches him how to become a crook as well. And then he doesn't even run on any ground to stand on. He's not saying, I want to help people find jobs. I want to help y'all with inflation. I want to help y'all with the housing crisis. I want to help the crime go down. He's not saying that. What does he say? He's talking about climate change and tariffs. I don't understand how people can be this stupid, but I'm starting to see maybe I'm not that dumb. You know, maybe I'm not that dumb. What is on my hand? Makeup. I mean, it's crazy to think about. You got somebody over here that's telling you, I will solve your problems, and you still choose the evil. Trump, for his part, backed Perversion, reiterating his call for Canada to become the 51st state. They're so screwed. I feel so bad for... what was the total? Does anybody know the total? Canada's election numbers. I ain't even never been to Canada. I don't know why I'm so invested. Because I know what's going to happen. That's why. Because I know what's going to happen. I don't care if it was fucking Africa. I don't want people to suffer. And they're already suffering enough up there. Just like in the UK. Their rights are being stolen. They're being locked up. Y'all have no fucking clue the evil of the government. And this is the swamp in Canada. Mark is the same person as Justin. They're no different. So it looks like it was 43.5 to 41.4. Hold on. Vote shared by party. Conservative. Why is it blue? That should have been red. Y'all got the parties mixed up with the colors. Anyways, Conservative Party, blue. Liberal Party, red. Anyways, Conservatives lost by like 2.1%. 2.1%. Now, I ain't never cracked into election in Canada, but if it's anything like elections in America, honey, I would be calling for a recount right now and pulling up fucking death records and fucking, you know what I mean? Because we know that they stuffed ballot boxes in 2020 with thousands of ballots all over this country. Democratic people. We've got council women carrying boxes of fucking fake votes to the box during the 2020 election. It was all filmed. And those are just a few of them we caught on camera. What about the ones we didn't know about? I understand how they do it now, how an election could be stole. I understand. And I'm not saying they stole this. I'm just saying, how do you go from a poor rating, 20 points lower, and then still win an election? Like you were already, your disapproval rating was going up, your approval rating was going down, and you were behind 20 points in approval rating from Perversion, and you still win an election. It's just weird, if you're asking me. It doesn't make sense. Everybody that I've spoke to was expecting Perversion to win. So it's just sad. I feel horrible for Canada. Let's see what they were running on, because it has it right here. So Trump's repeated threats of annexation. Also, listen, I barely speak English, sue me. Also rankled Canadians. Former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau told business leaders in February that he believes Trump's talk was serious and that the president coveted Canada's that the President Trump wanted Canada's critical minerals. Yes, that's what we do. We help you, you help us. It's teamwork, makes the dream work. See, that's the problem though. These liberal idiots that are in office in Canada, it's almost like they've built a fucking force field around Canada, and they're not trying to keep the peace. They want to start shit. They're not trying to help the people. They're doing everything in their power but to help the people. It appears from the outside, in my opinion. It's like the swamp is running the entire country like it was here for the past 4 years. And it seems like the Prime Minister, Mark, is trying to stir shit up. It's not like he's trying to help his people. If he wanted to help his people, he'd know what's best for him, and he'd fucking act right. And he'd act like he cared about people, but he doesn't. He acts like he cares about money. What could go wrong? Another few years of hell for these poor people who are already homeless, can't afford food, sick, can't afford medicine, can't afford child care, can't afford their mortgages, crimes up, people being robbed, raped, murdered. I wish I could punch this fucker in the face. Cartney, who took over the Liberal Party leadership from Trudeau in March, also tapped into voter concerns over Trump, saying during a victory event earlier on Tuesday, quote, President Trump is trying to break us so America can own us. No, negative. We don't want to own you. We want to help you. And you know, it's just crazy. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre, a career politician and right-wing populist who once declared war on wokeism, found his Trump-like qualities now counted against him. He faced a sudden reversal in polls that had favored his Conservative Party, only to win just a few months ago. He was expected to win. He was projected to lose his seat on Tuesday morning. The party was polling with more than 20-point lead over the Liberals in January. So from January to April, all of a sudden, so Poilievre in January had a 20-point lead, and then somehow in 2-3 months, the election happened, and he didn't anymore. Weird. Carney, a 60-year-old former central banker in Canada and Britain, and he wasn't no just regular banker. Oh, no, honey. He was like, why ain't my thing working? I've already read this and we learned about it, but I'm just gonna tell you. He's an evil banker. He's bought and paid for by anybody that has enough money to make him some money. He sold his soul many, many years ago, honey. This is a man that has no soul. He looks demonic. I've said that time and time again. He makes me feel uncomfortable when I see his face. He went to the Harvard University in 1987, which would have been 37 years ago, and he got a bachelor's in economics. Then he went to the University of Oxford. Hold on. He was the governor of the Bank of England. He was the governor of the Bank of England. He was the deputy minister for the Department of Finance of Canada. He was the governor of the Bank of Canada from 2008 to 2013 and was responsible for Canadian monetary policy during the 2008 financial crisis. He then served as the 120th governor of the Bank of England. He led the British Central Bank's response to Brexit and the early phase of the COVID-19 pandemic. From 2011 to 2018, he also served as chair of the Financial Stability Board. He also he was on the board of Bloomberg LP, an evil, vile fucking company. He was also appointed to the United Nations Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance. There we have it. There we have it. Ding, 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 ding. How is he going to ruin the country? Climate activism. Ding, ding, ding. Carney also worked for many informal advisors to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. They were best pals. And he was made chair of the Liberals Party Economic Growth Task Force in September of 24. Let me ask you something. From September of 24 to April of 25, how's the economics in Canada gotten better? How's that task force working for Canada? Economic Growth Task Force. That's the name of it. How is that task force, that Economic Growth Task Force, how has that helped Canada since September of last year? I'll wait. People need to learn to read through the bullshit. You need to see people for who they are. He's a career banker, and in my opinion, probably a career criminal. Okay? I feel so bad for Canada. So bad for Canada. Hope was in their grasp, and now it's gone. And they are stuck with one of the worst person that they could have put in there. And it's just so sad. I just feel so bad for the people because I know that they're suffering. Let's look into it. What kind of immigration problems is Canada having? Hold up, wait a minute, but didn't Trudeau let illegal immigrants into the country? Well, this is interesting. In October of last year, yes, it is. For decades, Canada has cast itself as a country open to newcomers with immigration policies tailored to boost its population, fill labor gaps, and settle refugees fleeing conflict from all around the world. But in recent months, Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, has said he intends to significantly cut the number of immigrants allowed in Canada. So for years you allowed it, but all of a sudden now, when it's taking an economic negative toll, now you're like, oh, no, we can't take no more. Concerns grow over inaccessible social services, high cost of living, and unaffordable housing. The kicker is y'all wouldn't have had that problem if y'all wouldn't have let a bunch of people in the country that you couldn't fucking support to start with. It's a major shift for both the country and Trudeau, who ran in 2015 on a platform embracing multiculturalism, a key part of Canadian identity. It's a key part of the whole fucking world. What are you talking about right now? There's immigrants all over the fucking world from different parts of the fucking world. Y'all they act like they special. They ain't been to America. Who gonna tell them? Who gonna tell them? Who gonna tell them? Like, when was this? October of 24. So it says they want to do a 21% reduction in permanent residents accepted into the country in 2025. Oh God, I just have to laugh because it's so just stupid. Immigration has been a polarizing issue in the West, but Canada has mostly avoided it until now. With protest and campaign. So what did anybody from Canada here? Hello to Sweden. Good morning, Critter Bones. Peter. Hello. So let me get this right, because I don't live in Canada. So anybody that lives in Canada. So after COVID, y'all still had more people coming through the borders. A lot of y'all were probably laid off work. Rent went up. Inflation went up. And the government still kept allowing more illegals to come in. And then the southern border was left open. And that would have caused more people to come y'all's way. There's not enough houses. Everything's got more expensive because of the illegal immigration. Now there's job shortages, rising rents, housing shortages. Am I getting all this right? And it really got bad the past 4 years after the southern border was left open, and we had people coming from all over the world. We had Chinese, people from South America, people from damn anywhere. If they could catch a boat, a plane, a train, and get to that southern border, honey, they were here. So it looks like people have started protesting in Canada against this because they can't afford to live. They can't afford to live. Am I getting it right? Same shit we got going on here, but worse. At first glance, the single bedroom for rent in Brampton, Ontario looks like a bargain. True, there's barely any floor space, but the asking price is only $550 a month in Toronto suburb, where the average monthly rent for a one bedroom is $2,261 for a one bedroom. $2,261. Oh, but if you inspect it more closely, however, this is actually just a small bathroom converted into a sleeping quarter. I'm sorry, do what? You want me to sleep beside the toilet for $550 a month? In a cupboard like fucking Harry Potter? I am so sorry, y'all. Canada might have a lot of space, but there aren't enough homes, and in the past 3 years, rent across the country has increased by almost 20%. Some 2.4 million Canadian families are crammed into homes that are too small, in urgent need of major repairs. Same shit here. We stopped building houses after the 2008 recession, you guys. The amount of houses that we're building is nowhere in comparison to the trajectory that we were on during the 2008 financial crisis. When the housing market crashed, all production on new homes essentially stopped, and they stopped building them. And then 12 years later, COVID comes along. Is that 12 years later? 2008, 2020. I'm going to roll with it. 12 years later, COVID comes along, and the price of materials for building homes, the lumber, the locks that go on the door, the cement for the damn foundation, the metal rebar that they use. I don't know what to build a house with. All of those materials shot up significantly, also causing contractors not to be able to build houses because they can't afford to. We have a major problem in this country and other countries with housing, but this is why. The 2008 financial crisis really hit us hard, and then people hadn't even really had time to collect themselves before we were hit with COVID. And we've been in a silent recession, in my opinion, for 5 years, almost, approximately. You know what I mean? We need to be getting homes built. But here's the problem with that. The government owns all the fucking land, and if they don't, these huge housing corporations do. The banks own them. The land. This is a problem. I feel so bad for people. This accommodation shortage has come to a head at the same time that inflation is hitting Canadians hard, and these issues have moved another issue high up the agenda in the country of immigration. In 2022, Canadians said 27% of Canadians said in 2022 there were too many immigrants coming into the country. By 2024, that number had increased to 58%. Well, then who the fuck voted for Mark? Because 58% should have been for Paul Pierre. If 60% of the country has a problem with the illegal immigration, and they're taking house, they're taking jobs, they're taking funds, who voted for Mark? Why would you vote for Mark? You think those problems are going to stop? No, he needs those immigrants coming in. Just because they said they were going to slow down don't mean that they are. What does it look like? Step out your front door, let me know. What does it look like up there? Does it look like immigration policies of, does it look like that they're deporting people that are there illegally? Does it look like, I don't know. You think it's going to get better? I don't. I think Trudeau trained Mark, and I think that just because they say something, their actions say something different. I don't listen to them. I look at their career. I look at their family life. I look at what they do in office. I look at the policies they've passed and the stuff that they stand for. I don't listen to a shit word that these motherfuckers say, and you shouldn't either. Look at who they are. Look at what they've done. Look at their career. Use your brain. Most of them are pieces of shit, bought and paid for by somebody. Somebody. Epstein. You know what I mean? He had a bunch of people, politicians, on the payroll. It's weird. So by 2024, 58% was done with the illegal immigration. They said, absolutely not. You need to get all these criminals out of here. And the ones that are here illegal are now criminals because they crossed that border illegally. It's a crime. Stories like that of the bathroom for rent in Brampton, have fueled all of this anger because people are pissed. Under Trudeau's administration, the Canadian government deliberately chose to radically boost the numbers of people coming into the country after the pandemic, believing that boosting quotas for foreign students and temporary workers, in addition to skilled immigrants, would jumpstart the economy. How did that work out? The population, which was 35 million 10 years ago, now tops over 40 million people. Jesus fucking Christ. And no homes are being built. No new jobs are being added to the economy. Everybody's being laid off. Businesses are going out of business. Canada, y'all might have just set up your final domino. They might start toppling over in the middle of his damn election. You know, the middle of his time in office. I don't know. I just know that this is another domino. It's just going to be a domino effect. When one thing falls, it's going to knock everything out of place. And it could be disastrous for the country, just like here. We are, both countries, all countries, are nothing but sitting dominoes right now. We're all lined up, waiting for one thing to go wrong to set the whole fucking line off. And fall into another fucking recession, the economy completely crash again. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's that bad across the board. You know, we ain't even playing Monopoly. We playing dominoes. Like, we played Monopoly 30, 40 years ago. We had legs to stand on, infrastructure, money. We ain't even got that now. We got dominoes. Oh, wow. And if you thought that the new task force was out here working from September to March, that was a lie. Immigration in Canada has risen sharply. Number of immigrants in 12 months to the end of June. So it just keeps going up and up and up. So they're just taking in more people. More people. I can't see. I don't hate on immigrants. The ones that came here illegally are criminals. That's different. There's a huge difference between an immigrant and a criminal immigrant. And, you know, you can come to this country and not be a criminal. But if you come to this country and you come through that border illegally, that makes you a criminal. I'm sorry that you're slow. I can't wait till I get my sign. I love it. What do you have for breakfast? I have anger. Anger and disgust. Anger and disgust on my plate for breakfast. Man, it's like people don't get. They want to say, oh, you're bashing immigrants, you're racist. No, bitch, you don't get it because you're slow. You don't get it. It affects my life. It affects what family I do have lives. And it's going to affect it for years to come. Did y'all see at the, good morning, Lewis. I hope you didn't work too hard last night. Did y'all see at the White House where Trump, okay, so what they did is they have these huge posters of all the illegal immigrants that they captured. And it's like single posters with just their mugshot. And it'll say underneath the sign what they did. The White House lawn is littered with them. The White House put them all out there, pitchfork style, with the damn mugshot. And it says murder, rape, trafficking. You can go see this on Benny's channel. I found it humorous because this is the best part. If you think that's funny, love that. That's what we like. Public shame. Public shame. The best part is the Trump administration set up news reporter tents right in front of that stretch of illegal immigrant photos. They would not let them film anywhere else. They said, if you're going to report on news here today, This is where you standing at this tent with those mugshots behind you. So the only way that the reporters could record was in front of those mugshots. Trump did that. Bring back public shame. It's crazy. I love that. That was great. Huge difference. Right here it says Canada's housing market faces a crisis marked by soaring prices, affordability struggles, and a shortage of housing supplies, particularly in major urban centers. This has been driven by factors such as rapid population growth. So because Trudeau because he allowed people to come there illegally, the citizens have now struggled, can't find housing, their rent went up. The situation is exacerbated by rising interest rates, which make mortgages less affordable, and regulatory bottlenecks that slow down construction. And it's not what slows down construction, Karen, is the cost of materials, permits, land, the cost of everything. That's why houses are not being built. What is a bottleneck? A construction bottleneck is a point or stage in the project workflow that slows down or completely halt. This is what happened during the 2008 recession. All of the homes that were being built went into bottleneck status. I don't know how to say it, because they weren't being built anymore. Everything stopped. Everybody lost their jobs. It was bad. So it was a pinpoint the specific area where progress was halted. Anyways, do y'all hear these idiots out here? It's too early. I use the bathroom. It looks like y'all's gas is significantly cheaper than... You know what's crazy? Iran, Libya, and Venezuela, you can get gas for like 0.11 cents. How can they do that? How do they get gas for 10 cents for a gallon and ours is damn $3 and something? Canada's gas is $2 cheaper than ours. It said 1.11 per gallon. I think the numbers are different. They do like liters and we do gallons, and yeah, I don't know if that's true. Anybody from Canada? Oh, tax. Betty's bathroom. Ouch. I bet there ain't no toilet paper in here. Oh, there's an owl in that tree. Oh my God, y'all. Palm tree. Beautiful palm tree. I don't know what I want to do today. Look at this. I told you. I told you. Yeah, America does the same shit. Everybody's paying too much in taxes. And it was supposed to be temporary. What happened to that shit? Temporary my left foot. Is that how the gas is cheaper? I still don't understand how the gas is cheaper. Damn it. God, it's already 80 degrees. Already. So they came out with a list of cars that are worst cars to buy in 2025, and I'm gonna tell y'all them in the order of best to worst. So the Dodge Journey, that made the list. Then it would be the Nissan Versa. They're having a problem with the engines just exploding in them. Jeep Cherokee, Land Rover, Hyundai Sonata, GMC Denali. Apparently the ones that they've built this year, the engines are just dropping out of them. I don't know what to call it. They're exploding as well. Chevy, is it a Cavalier? Chevy Cruze, the Chevy Cruze. Tundra, which is surprising because Toyota usually has good trucks, but for some reason the 2025 edition is having major engine failure along with the other cars that I'm talking about. And the number one was the Hyundai the Sonata and the Elantra. There you go. They're having major engine failure. So yeah, don't buy any of those cars this year because they're pieces of shit like last year. A lot of them are on the same list as last year and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. So Hyundai is actually one of the worst cars that you can buy for the road, along with Jeep. I don't make the rules. Listen, I don't make the rules. So yeah, this banana is trash. Can I have like one bite of it? Or is it too bad? I think it's too bad. Ew. Hold the phone. And that GMC, I was surprised. I was like, what you mean they're having engine failure? 2025 GMC Denali. Major engine failure. They say they don't even make it a damn 50,000 miles and the motherfucker just drops out of it. I guess I got lucky, right? I'm glad I don't have those problems. Yet. there was a missing girl out of Detroit named London Thompson, and they found her body this weekend. She was 17 years old, and she went missing. The family of 17-year-old London Thompson is mourning after the Detroit teen's body was found over the weekend, 3 weeks after she was reported missing. She was last seen on April 5th when she was dropped off with her 23-year-old boyfriend. She is 17. You ain't allowed to have a 23-year-old boyfriend. Michigan State Police said her body was found Saturday evening in Southfield near the 8 Mile and Telegraph Roads. Neighbors said they watched as police discovered Thompson's body inside of a white SUV parked in a neighbor's driveway. They say the SUV had been parked there for 2 weeks. So, from what I've been able to gather is that this child her family let her do whatever she wanted. She had no discipline. She had no guidance. And she was just running the streets all the time. On April 17th, law enforcement conducted a search of the boyfriend's home. Authorities have not publicly identified the suspects, but confirmed that 2 people are currently in custody in connection with her disappearance. Detective Bill Peterson said that the age gap between Thomas and her boyfriend raises concerns. You think? She's a 17-year-old girl with a 23-year-old boyfriend. If I was investigating the case, that's exactly where I would look first. Let's see if they've released anything about the arrest. This is why your child needs to be home before dark every day. With an Apple AirTag glued to the bottom of her damn shoe. 2 suspects believed to be involved in London Thompson's disappearance are in custody. They recovered the body on April 26th. It was determined to be her. Thomas was last seen on April 5th when her sister dropped her off to visit her 23-year-old boyfriend. They don't tell nothing. They just keep repeating the same shit. That was her. Good morning, Andrea. I wonder if it's her boyfriend. If history has a way of repeating itself, it's probably her boyfriend and his best friend, but they're not releasing that information. I just don't understand why she was running the streets, why she had a 23-year-old boyfriend. Just because your child wants to act grown does not mean that they are grown. This is a no-no. And y'all know who I blame for this shit, so I don't even need to say it, right? Y'all know who I blame for this child's death, right? Okay. Glad we cleared that up. Your child is not supposed to be running the streets at 17. Nor is she supposed to be hanging out with a 20-something-year-old man. Sounds like people think, I mean, you know what it is nobody wants to raise their kids. They don't want to deal with them. That's why they drop them off at McDonald's and let McDonald's deal with them. So going back to the Epstein case from yesterday, y'all know that Virginia Guthrie apparently committed suicide allegedly. She actually wrote something on Twitter back in 2019 that I found that was very interesting. Virginia Guthrie, I'm making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and general practitioner. If something happens to me, in the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted. I don't know. Oh, we got to talk about this because I'm about to eat this woman's... Oh, I'm about to eat her soul. I'm about to eat this bitch's soul. Do you hear me? I had to read you that from Virginia because... Interesting. Well, we got to talk about this evil bitch that killed her 2-year-old kid. In a car crash. His name was Preston Ordone. He was known on TikTok. He was only 2 years old, and he was a TikTok celebrity. First of all, that is illegal. You cannot have a channel. His mother was running it, of course, and profiting off of her baby, okay? 2-year-old Preston Ordone, known on TikTok as OK Baby, died in a crash on Thursday. This wasn't no regular crash, fam. That bitch didn't put him in a seat. This 2-year-old child was not strapped into a seat. That's why he died. So let's start reporting the news the right way. Because of his mother's abuse and neglect, because that's what that falls under, that's neglect, he died. Why is she not in handcuffs? Preston's parents, Caitlin, 25, and Jalen Ordone, 27, were seriously injured. Good. They deserve to die. They killed their son. The cause of the crash is under investigation. That's a red flag. Because if it was a crash where somebody had hit them or something natural had happened, a cow ran out in front of the fucking road, there wouldn't be an open investigation. You know why there would be an open investigation? Because they were drinking and driving, because they were drinking and drugging, because they didn't properly secure their child in the car seat. Officials said that they responded to a single vehicle crash. So they done got, because of their poor driving skills, they've done gotten a crash. That's what that means. Single vehicle crash on Interstate 12 shortly before noon on Thursday in St. Tammany Parish. Oh, wow. The hip-hop preliminary investigation determined that a Ford F-150, the Ford F-150, veered off the road and struck a tree. Authorities said Preston was improperly restrained in a child safety seat. He died at the hospital. He was not properly restrained in his child car seat, which led to his death. I want these parents arrested. All of it could have been avoided. That's the point. It was their responsibility as parents to keep him safe. They couldn't even keep their damn selves safe. They veered off the road and hit a fucking tree, bruh. Off an interstate. Do you know how fast they would have been going? An interstate. Allegedly. They could have been going 75, 80. It's an interstate. Louisiana police now stress that proper restraint use significantly reduces the risk of serious injury or death in a crash. The proper use of a seatbelt and child safety seats can be the difference between life or death. Princess Diana would be here if she would have been wearing a seatbelt. Princess Diana died because she didn't have on a seatbelt. Princeton's grandfather, well, no, because you raised your son or your daughter. No. Our goal is never to put the parents in pain. Fuck that. They killed their baby. Caitlin Ordone, who has more than 400,000 followers on TikTok, began posting videos of Preston in 2023. He's tenderly known as OK Baby, and he loved to jump in mud puddles. And it's just sad. Let me ask you something. Does either one of these shitheads look like they know how to drive? They still green behind the ears, honey. Neither one of them's an adult yet. Their brains aren't even fucking properly developed. Thank God their 7-year-old daughter, bitch, you ain't but 24 and you got a 7-year-old? Anyways, her 7-year-old daughter, thank God, was at school because she'd probably be dead too. Fucking evil people out here. First of all, you're exploiting your child on the fucking internet for monetary gain. That's a huge red flag. That shows me your fucking character. That tells me who the fuck you are. Wake up, people. Wake up. Of course they started a GoFundMe and they've raised over $30,000. But wait a minute, you make so much money off your fucking children. You make so much money exploiting your children. They need to be in jail. Crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So the preliminary investigation showed that the truck veered off the road and hit a tree. How much more evidence do you need that these fools were in there doing something they shouldn't have been? Were you looking at your phone? Were you arguing? What was going on? We don't freaking know. I don't freaking care. Your neglect, veering off the road and hitting a tree because of a distraction or whatever, we don't care. And not properly buckling your child into a car seat, which directly led to their death, that is involuntary manslaughter. These motherfuckers need to be in jail. Plain and simple. They did this to their child. Their neglect led to the death of their child. That's how the law works. So why are they not in jail? Because they don't want to cause any pain to the family. Fuck that. Fuck that. How many more children have to die from being exploited by their fucking idiotic parents that don't deserve them? All I'm going to say is these motherfuckers better be glad I ain't got no power because they be in jail. Straight to jail. I got to shout out this woman because I saw 2 news articles on this and everybody in the fucking comments was, oh my God, I feel so horrible for the family. Fuck that. You're a fucking sheep. If you feel bad for these motherfuckers that killed their child, you're a sheep. But there was one woman in the comments that was brave enough to speak her mind, and I want to shout her out because this is what we need. BJDLVR said, such a huge, preventable tragedy. Poor little innocent, helpless baby. I'm sickened by social media parents who make their money off of their children. It doesn't surprise me that he was physically unprotected as well. Go ahead and hate me for being angry with them. I don't care. I don't suppose they will ever forgive themselves now, but it's too late. This means nothing to them. These are surface level people that financially profited off of putting their 2-year-old all over social media. You think these people got a soul? That's the only problem I got with that whole thing, is that you think that these people have a soul. First of all, thank you for speaking out. You're brave. These people ain't got no soul. As soon as they heal from the doctor, they'll be on social media, poor pitiful me, when they're the ones that cause their children, their son to die. They don't have a soul. They'll forget about this in 10 years. They'll forget he even existed. That's the type of people they are, because they're the same type of people that are willing to harm their children for money. It's crazy. These family channels are so freaking evil. They are. I see good ones and I see bad ones. There's absolutely, if you want to post your kids online and you want to have your kids online, there's a positive way to do it and a healthy way to do it. And there's a not so healthy way. All these Ruby Frank Juniors out here on TikTok with their kids, parading them around. They don't even care that there's perverts out here. Listen to what I'm telling you. There are families that run their children's accounts with their children doing provocative shit in provocative clothing, knowing good and well that perverts are subscribing and liking the videos. They are pimping their children out for money. That's what that is. When you know that there are thousands, millions of perverts out here looking for access to children, and then you give them access to your child for money, you need to be in jail. Parents know exactly. There's one family channel where the mother constantly gives her daughter a banana to eat and films it. And she has millions of followers. Who do you think is watching this child eat a banana over and over and over and over? These parents know that perverts are watching it. They don't care. They'll pimp their kids out for money, and they do. The child abusers are right out here, walking among us. They're parents now. Did you see the gay couple? Oh, God. Did you see the gay couple yesterday that have adopted a little boy and a little girl? Two men adopt 2 children yesterday. Sorry, the only thing coming up is the other gay couple that molested those 2 children that they adopted. Let's see if I can find it. I want a picture. I can't even find it because all that's coming up is those 2 men that were convicted in Georgia for 100 years for abusing their adoptive sons that were disabled. Let's go to YouTube and see if I can find it. And still and yet, the only thing coming up is the 2 losers that molested their 2 kids. How do I read shit and then it just disappears? So there's this. Hold on one second. Here they are. So if you want to go watch the video, it's through the Hodge twins. But look at this. Look at these gay men parading these babies around, holding them up like trophies. And what do you think they're going to do with these kids? I already know what they're going to do with these kids. They're going to exploit them for gains. They bought these children for views. They didn't buy these children to love them. It's already clear. They're parading them around like they're trophies. Hold on one second. It's absolutely sick. Look at this sick shit. Look at his fake fingernails, his long ass hair. Look at this sick shit. It don't even look normal the way he's carrying that poor baby that he just adopted. First of all, the house is creepy as fuck. So weird. Where was that through? Look at this sick shit. Damn it, Brooke! Go watch it. It's fucking weird. I've been trying to learn how to play videos for 2 fucking years, and I still can't get the software to download on the new computer. It's pissing me off. I'm gonna fucking run it over. Look at these 2 weirdos with these babies like they're trophies. And they're going to use them. They'll post them online, put their lives in danger, exploit them for gains, give predators access to them. It's just the same shit, different day. This is what I do for a living. I'm sorry that you're slow. I'm sorry that you're slow. It's disgusting. They're going to harm these children more than they could ever help them. And this is a fact. Let's not forget about the 2 weirdos in Georgia that was just sentenced to 100 years. They adopted 2 boys that were disabled with the purpose of sexually abusing them. They found millions, over 3 million videos and pictures of these 2 disabled little boys. And they were sharing this content online with their perverted gay friends. Yes, it should be illegal. Absolutely. That is not what God intended children to be used for. For you to use as a pawn in your perverted little fucking game. We should have never allowed these fuckers to get married because they done took it too far. You give them an inch, they take a fucking mile. First, they wanted to get married. Okay, get married. Then you want to adopt children. Okay, adopt children. Then they wanted to indoctrinate all of our children and tell us what we could do with ours. Remember that? Because I remember pretty fucking crystal clear. Bunch of weirdos. I'm disgusted by the LGBTQ+. Make me sick. Parading those poor children around like they're trophies at the fucking Grammys. Well, it won't take long. 20, 30 years for those children to grow up and tell us the horrors of what their parents did to them. We'll be hearing about it. Remember, I said it here first. That is so fucking unnatural and weird. Imagine growing up in a home where both your daddies look like fucking knockoff Nicki Minaj Barbie dolls, okay? And you are so confused. You don't understand. You think they care? All they care about is themselves. How they look to the rest of the world. That's why they got the children in the first place. It's just horrific to think that those poor children are trapped with these 2 weirdos right now. Right now. No, I do not believe that gay people should have children. Psychologically speaking, we know, statistically speaking, that it damages them psychologically. No, I don't think gay people should have children. It's weird. You're weird. If you want children, be a normal person like the rest of us and have some, you know what I mean? Why you gotta go adopt a damn child and then parade it around for your social media page? Because that's what they do. They're both freaks. They make money off of fucking content. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. You don't know what you're doing. I wonder how many children are going to come forward in the future telling horror stories of what happened to them in these homes. You're already more susceptible to child abuse coming into the foster care system. Statistically speaking, children who enter the foster care system face more abuse. They face more abuse in the foster care system. Sexual, physical, mental, emotional. Their foster parents will starve them. Their foster parents will assault them. It's sad. You're speaking to someone who fucking lived it, so I already know what the deal is. I was a foster fucking kid. So I know exactly what goes down because I have firsthand knowledge. And it's sickening. It's sickening to think. And they're putting a price on these babies' heads too. That's something else I was learning about last night. If you go to another country and you try to adopt a child, the list for white children far outweighs the other list with other children on it. But if you choose to adopt a black child or an Asian child or a Hispanic child, then the adoption agency will waive the fees it costs to adopt. So it's cheaper to adopt a child that is black or of another race than a white child. I just want to be clear that is human trafficking. These are not fucking slaves. This is not